What we have here is a seal coating project. Good morning, everyone. I'm Chris Jones with Coastal Asphalt. We're here in a local spot in Myrtle Beach. You can see it's our local Best Buy. And so we're doing a seal coating project here today on property. So there's lots of steps in making a project like this happen. So we're dealing with a property manager on this job. And you know, if you've ever been in these parking lots, they're very busy. There's lots of cars here. And so we have to schedule all this type of work to make this happen. Cars need to be moved so we can come in and start the cleaning process. And so you'll see that in the cleaning process, they're using blowers and brooms and brushes to clean up any sediment and leaves and debris in the parking lot, because we've got to get this asphalt clean for the actual sealer to stick and adhere to our pavement. So typically in these larger parking lots, we split them up in phases, whether it means in breaking them up into 1 or 2 days. This particular project was split over two days. So yesterday we actually did a phase, and now it's open and cars can park there, customers can still get to the business, and you'll see this side is vacant. It was blocked off real early this morning, and any cars that were here were asked to move, and now they can park on the side that we seal coated and striped yesterday. So today this side is free and we're working in it at this point.
What that'll do is it'll help keep the retail business open so it's as minimum intrusiveness as possible.
So once the cleaning process is done, which usually takes an hour or two each morning, they've got to lay out cones for traffic patterns, sometimes signs, things of that nature, and then they'll finish up the cleaning. And so the next phase of the project is what we call cutting in. So you can see the guys over here. They're pouring material out close to curb and gutter lines, and then they're using a hand squeegee to cut in, just as if you were painting inside your home and you were painting around a window sill or a door frame, something of that nature. So this way, when the machine comes through and they're spraying the material, you don't have to worry about overspray onto curbs and gutters, driveways, things of that nature.
One other thing you'll notice in the cut-in process is they go one direction and then they come back with the squeegee broom a second direction. The reason why they're doing that is to make sure they get the material covered completely over the asphalt surface so that there's no imperfections in it and we get more material coverage.
You may ask, why seal coat? And so seal coating, so we use an asphalt emulsion is the type of sealer that we use. And sealer is designed to be the wearing product instead of your asphalt. So as traffic comes through here, as the sun bakes down onto the pavement, especially if we go through these hot summer months, your pavement will oxidize and will wear. And asphalt is a lot more expensive than what seal coating would be. So the sealing becomes that wearing point instead of you losing asphalt. It's a protectant to your bigger investment, which is the paving. One thing to talk about is you can see this sealer has just been applied and it's still wet. It has that kind of glossy, shiny look to it. When it's dry, it will be a matte black. And so right now you cannot walk on this nor drive on it. And that's a big thing that we find, especially in public parking lots like this. So we have to put up barricades, cones, and caution flagging, things like that to keep people off of it. Because until this sealer is dry, it hasn't started the curing process. And if you walk through it, it will get on your shoes, on your car tires, and it will track into driveways, into the carpet of your home, things like that. So again, it's more of that planning we talked about earlier, is giving the people the information of how this product works and the do's and don'ts to stay off of it. And this typically takes, so we say 24 hours. So right now it's about 9 o'clock on a Tuesday morning. We'll open this back up around 7 or 7:30 again tomorrow morning. It will be cured and dried and restriped at that point, and we'll show you the different phases as we go throughout the day. So on this project, it actually called for a squeegee spray application. So we apply sealer in two different methods. So again, this is what we call a squeegee spray versus a double spray. In the squeegee spray application, you can see the machine here, how it actually has a squeegee bar on the back of the machine. So as the sealer is poured out onto the pavement, and he drives forward, that squeegee bar is pushing, pulling, it's getting all the sealer down to the cracks and the crevices. And in this method, we're putting down about 30% more material than we do in a double spray. So it costs a little more, it's a little more expensive, but you get more material onto the actual pavement. So he'll coat the entire parking lot with this squeegee application first. And then once this material dries here in a few hours, we will spray the second coat. As I mentioned earlier, there's lots of planning into one of these type of projects. So when we're dealing with public parking lots like this versus your private community, so we have to schedule things like turning irrigation off. So most homes have some type of irrigation sprinkler system. Same thing here in these public parking lots. All these flower beds have irrigation. That has to be turned off a few days before this project ever begins, because we can't have the pavement wet at all. And we need good, bright, sunny conditions. Another thing, especially in residential areas, is we have to schedule your trash pickup. Mail, you may be without mail service for a day sometimes. It just depends on where your mailboxes are, individually at your home or if it's at a mail kiosk. So all this planning has to be done before we ever show up on the job to start working. And whether it's a paving job, a seal coating, whatever it is, there's a lot of planning that goes on behind the scenes before we show up. So we're on yesterday's phase. So this has had 2 coats applied. It's been laid out and restriped. This is done. You can see it's open for parking. We've got some customers already in the parking lot here. And so in this process, after that second coat has been sprayed, so they have to come in and lay out all of the striping. So you can see where we've got this blue chalk line. So they have to measure everything out, lay it out, so to speak, and then restripe all the pavement markings, the parking stall lines, stop bars, handicap symbols, all of that has to be restriped. So this is just a chalk, just to give you something to measure off of so they can keep everything straight and uniform. So once we get a good rain or a good wind, all this blue chalk that you see will dissipate, will be gone. But this is what it looks like the day after the project has been done.